Thank you everyone for joining us today. This is Vislink and Mobile Viewpoint webinar about remote production. And I'm joined, this is myself, I'm David Edwards. I'm product manager at Vislink and Mobile Viewpoint. And I'm joined today by my colleague Martijn from Amsterdam. Hello, Martijn.
Yes, my name is Martijn, and I'm based close to Amsterdam in the city of Alkmaar. And I'm actually in the football stadium of AZ right now.
And I'm at the Vislink office in the UK, and we're doing this webinar jointly, and we're doing this across our the Mobile Viewpoint vPilot. That's the two of us, and we're going to talk to you about remote production and cloud production solutions. I hope this will be really interesting to you. So Martijn, tell us about some of the Mobile Viewpoint products we'll be talking about today.
Yes, as you can see here, we have the bonded cellular products, and you already know our rack devices and the mobile devices. But today we're going to tell you everything about remote production and RCP functionalities which we can add to these devices.
And also on the Vislink side, we'll be talking about how the Vislink wireless camera solutions can also be used in remote production scenarios, and how you can use this equipment to reduce your production costs. So in terms of remote production, we know that remote production techniques have been used for probably 10 years or so now, and this technology has really gathered pace over the impact of COVID, and as people look to do more and more content more efficiently. So all of the remote production technology enables people to produce content more efficiently. It enables you to work in new ways and ways that to get a better work-life balance for the people involved in the production industry. They perhaps, rather than spending their lives touring the world and living out of hotels, maybe some of those people can work from an office-based scenario and have a much better work-life balance. In terms of other benefits, it's now becoming more and more important to use remote production to reduce the impact on the environment, less travel, all of those impacts that that we need to do something about. And with the efficiency savings that remote production gives, that enables you to move into producing new content at new events, because you can produce that content much more efficiently than you could before. Now it becomes commercially possible to produce that new content. And this is something that Mobile Viewpoint has been talking about, and there's a blog post from us in the SVG Europe website at the moment, which you may want to have a read about. So that's some of the really great reasons for moving towards remote production. And I'll let Martijn explain to you about the first piece of technology we have in terms of connecting to the remote edge.
Yeah, what you see here in the video is our Agile UltraLink Air with RCP connectors. So this means that you can connect your RCP device from the studio to your device in the field, and basically remotely control all the features of your camera. And you can see that we have an eRosa connector on our mobile encoder and also on the camera. And thanks to the special cable, we can make a connection between the camera and the mobile encoder. And in the studio side, you can connect your RCP panel to the playout, and you are basically able to remotely control your camera from anywhere. And this is the mobile device. This is the mobile device, but we also can do it in a rack device.
In terms of the devices that we can control, Martijn, can you tell us a bit about those and the various panels that we can access?
Yeah. We can work with the Sony cameras and panels, but also Panasonic cameras and panels. For Sony, we support, for example, the PDW, the PXW, and the PMW, and several of their RCP control panels. But we can also make a combination. So, for example, control your Panasonic camera with a Sony device, or with a third-party device, the more generic RCP panels. We can also work with those.
So if you need a full list of the panels we support, then obviously we can contact us at Mobile Viewpoint and we can give you that list. But it's becoming a fairly large list and adding more all of the time. So in terms of connecting other devices to the edge. Martijn, what have we been doing there?
Yeah, so besides controlling your camera, we now can also control other devices. This could be a PTZ camera, but also a Blackmagic Atom, for example. How does it work? You have to connect the third-party device, such as the camera or the Blackmagic Atom switch, to the mobile encoder or rack encoder in the field. And via link matrix, you basically create a connection between your third-party device and the link matrix, and you can actually log into the GUI. So you can really log into the GUI of a third-party device connected to the mobile encoder and change all the settings.
So that means really from the production center, you really do have complete access to all devices at the edge, not just the camera encoder, but everything surrounding that solution.
Yeah, and the good thing is that you really log into the GUI of the device. So it's very known user interface to control the third-party device.
That's great. So in terms of other things you can do at the edge, it's really important to be able to communicate to the talent, isn't it? The on-screen talent.
Yeah. So besides the RGB functionalities, we can also add more basic functionalities such as the Tally light. So the light that's on top of the camera to show that it's actually live. And you can control it again or via the receiver or via link matrix.
Great. And also ability to communicate with the camera operators too.
Yep. You most likely know that we can do IFB. That's the communication over audio from the studio to the cameraman. But we can also do the other way around. So you can really have a two-way communication between cameraman and the studio to create the right shot and be in the right position for the final production.
That's really, really important. So in terms of communicating to the edge, we've talked a little bit about that, but it's also really important to be able to get reliable communication from the out in the field back to your broadcast center or to move content around the world. And so at Vislink and Mobile Viewpoint, we've been putting together a number of technology solutions to help with that. The first one of those is SMPTE 22-7, and this is seamless switching. And so this enables you to move content over two parallel links and be able to give yourself some redundancy in that way, because of by using these two parallel links, you can then choose to use maybe links that are have a slightly less reliability. Maybe there might be occasional packet drops, but for that you are paying less money. So this is giving you the ability to produce a lower cost solution to move content around the globe over a lower cost solution. And in order to get the reliability up, to maximize the reliability of the solution, you can then seamlessly switch between those two links. Maybe if you lose one of those links, you've still got the second one and you can switch to that without outage. Or if there's the occasional packet drop on both or one of those links, you can merge those two data streams together and create one good link from one that may be a little unreliable. And so it enables you to build up the reliability of your transmission system without paying for 100% guaranteed leased fiber, which obviously costs a lot more. Secondly, within a Vislink solution, we're now implementing SRT capability. And this is becoming more important again for moving content maybe from an event back to the broadcast production studio. And with this solution, you can then perhaps use the unmanaged internet. And by using the internet, that enables you to have much lower cost for your links between event and production center. So again, lowest cost maybe opens up new content that wasn't previously affordable to be produced. And so with the power of SRT, with the ability that it has for FEC protection, for ARQ technology, you can make a reliable link across a lower cost internet connection, and perhaps one that is more readily available than having to spend that money to put in leased fiber. And so again, new opens up the ability to produce content from new events. Having talked about IP connectivity, within the Vislink Quantum wireless camera receiver, we're also introducing SMPTE 2110. And SMPTE 2110 is a way of moving video content, raw video content, decoded video content around your plant. It has the full flexibility that IP routing has, and through that, you can then easily move that content in. It enables you to start to move content out into cloud production as well, if you want to start to take that route. And so much more flexible than routing data over SDI connectivity. And for that reason, we're starting to talk to some customers who have already said they'll never implement another SDI-based solution, whether that's an outside broadcast truck or connectivity within their broadcast center. The flexibility in routing that data is much, much better within an IP environment, and simply 2110 gives you that. Martijn, tell us about the ability to synchronize camera views within the mobile viewpoint environment.
Yeah, so we now have the MVP IP reference technology, which is very useful if you do a multi-camera production from different locations or from the same location, but you want to have all the feeds in sync. In the diagram here, you can see that we have multiple cameras with all their own mobile encoder. You can set one encoder in 3 seconds delay, the other one in less than 1 second delay. But in the end, in the studio, you want to sync everything to switch on time. So if you do a football match, for example, you don't want to take the penalty at camera 1, and in the second encoder, it's already in the goal. Everything needs to be in sync to create the right final production. And that's what we can do for you right now and on the receiving side, thanks to our MVP IP reference technology.
That's really good. And there's a second solution that we're showing here as well, which is about lower latency solutions too, isn't there, Martijn?
Yep. So before, our lowest latency was 0.8 seconds, but we will change that in the very near future with the next software release up to down to 0.5 seconds. So that's half of a second, which is extremely low for these type of devices.
And that enables people producing events to make a better understanding of when they switch camera views to understanding what's happening at the event from their position at the production center. So that becomes really very useful. Also much more useful in doing two-way interviews. You remove some of that delay. So in terms of bringing workflows together, I've talked a little bit about some of the Vislink solutions that we're putting together now, and also some of the mobile viewpoint solutions. Within the two organizations, we're now bringing both of those workflows together, and we're doing that within the mobile viewpoint link matrix workflow. And that means, for example, that you might have a wireless camera view within a stadium, within a Vislink ecosystem, producing content from that live event. And you can bring that into the mobile viewpoint link matrix workflow and control those devices out there at the edge of the network. Similarly, you can simultaneously do the same for the mobile viewpoint devices as well, and select which camera views to bring in, which ones to make live. And so now both of those wireless solutions are brought in via that same control system and workflow solution. And that leads to a much easier workflow environment for people who are producing those two types of wireless camera systems, maybe a Vislink solution within an event, and maybe a mobile viewpoint solution, maybe doing some reporting from outside an event. You have both there at your disposal through one workflow. So perhaps, Martijn, talk us through how we're evolving Link Matrix and Link Mix for cloud production.
Yeah, Link Matrix is our web-based cloud platform. So as soon as you have one of our devices, you also have your own Link Matrix web-based account. Via this account, you can manage and control your encoders and decoders, but you can also control your devices and create outputs to external platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, or OTT platforms. And within Link Matrix, we have a lot of new features that will enable you to do more on the remote production side. So as you can see here, on the left side, you see all the mobile encoders and rack encoders, the so-called clients. And on the right side, you see the decoders, which is the playout with physical SDI output. But you can also create Facebook and YouTube events. And the good thing is that you can stream at the same time to a playout with SDI, but also to a YouTube channel, for example.
And you can use that control workflow to manage your content library and bring in live clips and other stored clips when you need to, can't you?
Yeah, Link Mix is part of the Link Matrix, and it's basically a very basic editing tool or switching tool. As you can see here within Link Mix, you can enable your encoders to be used in Link Mix, but you can also upload clips such as commercials. And the example you see here in the slide are multiple sport events. There's one reporter out in the field, and he's speaking about all those different sport events. So you can switch between the reporter and the sport event. And at the same time, you can add overlays, which you can add yourself to the same system. So you can switch different sources, overlays, basically live and forward it to anywhere. And this is our Clipper, which is an editing portal. So as soon as you start the live transmission, it will be stored on the server side. And via Link Matrix, you have access to this recording. So after the match, for example, or interview, you can download the complete transmission. But you can also download almost real-time small parts of this recording. So if you're watching a soccer match, for example, somebody scoring a goal, you can immediately cut out this part of the goal and publish it on social media, for example, which works very good for fan engagement.
That's great. And you said we can add graphic overlays to that content as well, can't we?
Yeah. So like you see here, you can upload your own overlays. So during the live transmission, you can upload an overlay or activate an overlay, and it will be published immediately over the video. So you can really enhance your content within Link Matrix.
And then in terms of publishing that content, you've got complete flexibility as to how you publish it, can't you, in terms of the encoding settings and other things?
Yeah. So if you stream to your playout with SDI, for example, it's usually TV quality, let's say 1080i, 50 frames. But if you also want to send the same stream to Facebook, Facebook requires 720p 25. So we also have a transcoder built in, so we can automatically transcode the stream to Facebook or any other platform.
And with social media becoming more and more important, we're finding that people are relying on those social media channels to enhance their fan engagement. We know that, for example, just a 30% increase in the amount of video content on a social media channel increases the engagement with those people on that channel by well over 100%. And so for that, as Martijn said, we can choose to output to a broadcast workflow or choose to output into a social media workflow. So that's becoming more and more important to lots of different users who are finding those social channels a great way of engaging with their fan base. That was all we wanted to talk about today. But if you want to ask questions, you can do so in the Q&A box. You can start to type in questions now, and Martijn and I will be happy to answer those for you.
Yeah, and I already see a question in the chat. Link Matrix is a cloud-based service. Yes, that's correct. It's a cloud-based service. So as soon as you have internet via your laptop or desktop, you can log into your own account, and you have access to all of your devices. So your devices can be somewhere in the Netherlands, and you can manage them from anywhere, from Spain, the United States, as long as you have an internet connection.
That's right. Does anyone have any more questions whilst we're going? I think it's useful to say at this point that you may have found this webinar useful. If you want to have Vislink and Mobile Viewpoint talk to any of your customers, we can repeat this webinar directly to customers with your help. We can also customize any of these points to really get it right for the customer. So if there's any customer discussions that you want, we're here to help you, and we can continue to engage with the customer in the way that's right for your business. So we'll also be doing other webinars throughout the coming months. So some of them that we'll be covering, I think this could be useful to quite a lot of people, is a webinar coming up which talks more about the AI solutions that Mobile Viewpoint has. We've been using this one today, the vPilot system for automated studio production, but we also have a second solution, the IQ Sports Producer, for sports production, for the automated sports production. And then some more exciting news on 5G solutions as well. So if you've got any, if you think any of those are what you think your customers are interested in, then obviously we'll be doing some webinars on those hot topics in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and I see a question in the Q&A box. The small delay, the 0.5 seconds, is that available on 5G? Yeah, at the moment, most of the 5G networks are 5G down and 4G up. So yeah, the part we basically use is still 4G. So it really depends on the network. But on LAN, if you have a good internet connection on LAN, you should definitely reach the 0.5 seconds. Yeah, and if you want to reach it on mobile networks, it's really depending on the connection.
That's right. So there's lots of advancements going on there as well. So hopefully you'll be able to stick with us for some upcoming webinars in the future, and we'll talk some more about 5G as well.
Yep. And yeah, we're going into the event season. So we have NAB on the list. This week we have a show in the United States, the NCAA, which is a small show mainly focused on sport. But hopefully we can see some of you at NAB in Las Vegas in April this year.
Okay. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll hopefully see you in person, some of you, soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining.